said, my name's Troy Felt. I'm here to talk about the National Disability Insurance Scheme, specific towards SDA accommodation or specialist disability accommodation. My background is I've developed over $200 million worth of projects in my career, and I found that the NDIS is an ability to be able to value add and be able to provide good, affordable, a good product for participants and participants that are in the community now. So currently we have 2,300 NDIS participants in Western Australia. Currently we have just under 1,200 participants living in housing that's not fit for purpose, and it's in locations such as hospitals, aged care, and really not suitable for the current participants where they're living currently. So what we did find though, when we created fit for purpose dwellings with good locations, they're 100% occupied. Currently in WA, as of 1st of August, we have 107 NDIS completed homes. So the demand is very strong. Nationally, the projections are indicating 62% increase in participants with SDA funding by 2030. So the, as you can see based on these numbers, we're having a housing shortage for SDA participants, not participants looking for housing. So, so there's 4 major categories in terms of disability that will determine the income you're getting from SDA home. So you get improved livability, which is a low level of disability. You got full accessible, which is a medium. And you got robust, which relates to mental disability. And then you got high physical support, which is a high level of disability. So depending on which category you focus on will determine which income you'll get for the SDA home. So the income for a participant under the NDIS scheme is designed based on their level of disability. So, we know what participants need. So how to connect with participants is really important. That's probably the hardest part, is where participants want to live, how participants want to live, and who participants want to live with, and how many participants are there in that area. The participants want to live in homes that are close to amenities, access to footpaths, good public transport, amongst local hotspots, hospitals, pharmacies and etc. And they want to be part of the action. So as I mentioned earlier, the hardest part with the SDA space is about engaging with participants. There's more participants out there than there's housing. We've got 2,300 participants. There's close to 1,200 participants that are in housing that are, to give you an example, an 18-year-old kid living in an aged care facility because they don't know where to house them, yeah, or they're in hospitals because we don't know where to house them. So the challenge we have in this industry is actually participants, and how do we connect with them? And that's through SIL providers, plan managers, families, and guardians and so forth. So if you had a normal investment property, you'd advertise and you'd get tenants or participants. In this case, it's about actually community engagement and connecting with the people that need these housing. So prior I discussed about location, how do we connect with participants. This is where I think is the most important aspect. One of the most important aspects is getting the right built form. Is understanding what the participants need, not just necessarily what we think they need. So we've got to have high ceilings, windows with improved natural light and skylights, high impact walls, designer kitchens, an ensuite in every bedroom, including the carers room, private courtyards if possible, split systems in the rooms, including the living area, battery backup, and good quality fixtures and fittings. And this is gives you an example of a standard NDIS or SDA dwelling. So currently right now this has a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, suitable for 2 participants and a carer. What's really important is the carers are the ones that are caring for these participants, and we need to provide suitable facilities. Yeah. So fully functional kitchens, include sinks and fridges, semi-ensuite robe. These carers are caring for the participants, and they need to have an environment that they enjoy working at. And what we find is if the carers are happy in the work environment, it actually translates to happy participants. So then we've got the main, the participant bedrooms. Participants spend a lot of their time in the bedrooms, and the space for these rooms is important. So we need to have large bedrooms with functional circulation space for the required equipment. Kitchens, including fridges and microwaves and sinks. Large en-suites, again, circulation space is very important. Provisions for hoists to extend into the ensuite. Large door openings, sliding doors throughout, and importantly, a sliding door to exit out to the outside from their bedroom. And then we've got the living areas. We've got 2 participants living in here, there's family members coming over. It's important we have this appropriate for what we're designing here. So again, a functional living area with ample circulation space, a kitchen that also has adjustable benches, great access for storage. It's important to have a design that future-proofs the actual product that is actually going to allow the participants, when their health deteriorates, the house is designed to cater for that. And one thing I'll point out is the robust design is specifically designed for robust. This design here is catered for all categories except for robust, because that's a specialised design that really suits that. And these are some of the dwellings that I'm really proud of. So by 2023, we're going to have 110 participants in new housing. And as you can see, in areas where we know that the demand's strong and the products that are finished, they're 100% leased. Right. So the financial numbers, this is important. I like talking about the financial numbers because at the end of the day, this is a win-win-win. Yeah. So the government has got participants living in housing that's costing the government more than actually providing private accommodation such as this. Participants benefit because they get a far superior built form outcome, better locations, and an enjoyable place to live in. And then investors get a strong investment return that warrants their investment. So this gives you a bit of an idea, a hypothetical and a case study of a project. Land price, I don't know if you can see it way back from there, but I'll just quickly go through the numbers. A land price, $207,000, then you've got stamp duty, settlement costs, rates and taxes, then you've got the appropriate SDA costs, and then the construction for the dwelling. Now the construction is expensive, guys. Yep. We've got a hospital or an aged care facility in a 3x3. So it is a cost. It is an expensive home, but the returns warrant that. All right. So you've got interest cost. Then your total cost is just over $923,000. So because this is a 2-participant 1 OLA, these income of $75,000 for improved livability and $95,000 for full accessible, and then $119,000 for high physical support. So out of all those 110 dwellings coming, or 110 participants that are coming through the system that are complete or under construction, there's only one that's been designed for improved livability. Most of the product that's going to ground that's actually getting leased out is going to be in the high categories, so which creates a higher income based on their level of disability. So then when you take out the associated costs, property management costs, interest costs, rates, taxes and insurances, you're going to have a surplus cash flow depending on the level of disability of $26,000, $44,000 or $65,000 return on surplus cash flow. Now, when I was doing this 18 months ago, 2 years ago, the LVR requirement was 50%. Now they're happy to go to 80 to 90%, depending on the circumstances. In this case, we use 80% because that's kind of typical. So 20% worth of equity into your investment, which is $221,000 in this case. You're getting anywhere between 19 to 29,000. 11 to 29% return on your investment. gives you an idea of a case study and an idea of kind of how those numbers work in terms of an investment. Yeah. So my main objective today is really just to showcase what's possible in the SDA space, but more importantly, let's build good product. Let's build product that we can be proud of, product that we can actually showcase that these participants are vulnerable people, and we want to build better product for them. And I think it warrants that in this type of investment to do so. So if you walk away going, yep, we're happy to do a great product that's got good location and quality built form, then this is the right product for in terms of investment opportunity. So yeah, so great. Thanks for the opportunity to discuss this thing that I really love doing. And if you've got any questions, feel free to ask.
One quick question: how do you look at the property market versus these housing market?
In what regard?
The prices, because the property market may go up or down with the boom, versus this would remain more or less stable.
What's great about it? Yeah, because it's basically it's government funded federally, and it's based on CPI. So whatever the CPI rate, your increase goes up. So these figures here were $10,000 less than last year in terms of so it's set by federal government, and they determine what those incomes are going to be.
So I think the question is about the market value, correct?
Market value.
If you have to resale value.
Oh, listen. These are valued based on a commercial valuation on yields. Yeah. So when a valuer values this, you can't compare this product to a property next door that's an SDA certified dwelling compared to a straightforward 4x2. Yeah. So a standard, say, 4x2 home might get $25,000 a year versus worst case 75. Yeah. So that answer your question. Yeah.
I think the question is, will the valuation stack up better than the normal investment properties or worst?
Yes.
Better. Because it will be valued as a commercial.
The value as a commercial based on the yield that's showing on the NDIS.
And what happens if you want to stop using them as SDAs and want to convert to normal properties? Can that be done?
Why would you? Yes, you can. You can lease that out to an aged person. You can lease it. It's still a 3x3 home. It can be leased out, but it's an expensive asset to lease out to the general public. But it can. Yep. And the product is for 20 years. Yep. So it's a 20-year kind of asset hold. Achieving that rental returns. Yeah.
And it's cash positive. You're not asking people to lose $1 to save 40 cents, correct?
Yes, it's significantly, cash positive, significantly. So wherever the market goes up or down, you're still going to be getting the revenue coming in each month.
Yeah. Recession proof because the government is going to pay.
Government's paying.
Very good.
And demand is growing.
Yeah.
So
thanks.
Yeah.
Who finds the participants? Who finds the participants? Suppose I have I invest in that. I have a property there. I put a property manager. So whose responsibility is to find the participants?
Good question. So it's really the investor that's buying this asset is responsible to lease this out, but that's what we do. Yep. So we identify where the locations are, where the demands are, we identify where the participants are, and then we actually coordinate the process of managing that asset out. So it's a one-stop shop. Do I do it personally? We have a team around us because the process of getting participants is very focused on community engagement. Yep.
So are you guys more like consultants, or would you be a partner in that?
These are single green top lots that suit a 3x3 product. So we want to make sure you get all the returns. But if there's investors that want to partner up, there's opportunities there for sure. But you can make good returns without having to develop. Yeah. So you don't need to develop in the SDA space because the returns don't. So.
To find the participants, you guys charge the fees or?
Yeah. So the fees are here. So to find a participant is $2,450 for two participants. Similar as if you're leasing out a straightforward investment property. The reason why it's so high is because the income's so high. It's just a letting fee of 2 weeks.
One more question. There are some investments you don't need to have a caterer there. You don't need to have 3 by 3, for example, you can have 2 by 2 without key facility.
But the income's a lot higher if you have a OOA on-site overnight assistant. Yep. And if you don't need that there, but you provide it, you still get the revenue from it.
But in case, for example, you compare 3 by 3 into 2 by 2, for example, you can invest in a granny flat, for example, 2 by 2, and still you can go for 5 or 10 years lease agreement. You want to invest maybe about 125,000 compared to 5 or 600,000.
Sure.
Return will be more.
Sure.
So are you looking after those kind of investments?
Maybe you and I can have a chat afterwards, but really, you know, we've got to identify where the demand is in terms of the configuration of a building. So when you look at the demand, it's 1 participant and then 2 participant dwellings are the most popular. As soon as you start getting 3 and 4s, the numbers look great. Yeah, the numbers look fantastic, but the participants don't want to live in those. So the vacancy rates drop dramatically. Yes.
Just a quick question. For that configuration of build, what block size would you be looking at?
375. Yeah.
And who sets the construction cost? You know, because you said obviously, you know, it's a specialized participant house, you know, so obviously the costs are higher, but where do you end up with the 675,000?
We have preferred builders that specialise in this space that we've worked very closely with to ensure that they can build this product. A lot of residential builders can't really build this product very well. Okay. So we've got a team of builders that used to building high-end product, so they know how to build this type of build form. Yeah, because the attention to detail of this product is a lot higher than the standard home.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the case study you've done is for 200,000 you're getting the land. So whereabout you can get the land for $200,000?
$200,000.
Yeah, that's what you put the land.
Yeah. This one here happens to be in Byford. Yeah.
Byford.
We've got participants and we've got a number of properties in Byford because we've got a number of participants wanting in this area. In fact, this area is 1.05 times the income. Yep, so they're paying more to put people in Byford because that's where demand is. So to answer your question, that one there's a live project. Yeah. So, yeah.
Is it true that everyone dealing with this SDA ecosystem has to be an approved provider by the government?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a team around us that's quite regulated in terms of who can actually provide that service. Yes.
So how is the supply and demand as of now?
The supply and demand, well, we've got 107 homes completed in the SDA space, and we've got 2,000 participants in the system. And there's approximately about 40 per month coming in. Yeah, so we had a construction boom, and we haven't seen any movement in the SDA space.
What about the preferred area, suburbs, like you said, Byford is an example.
Yep.
What are the preferred areas like, in terms of the good return?
Other areas? Yeah. Well, the returns are good in all areas. Yep. But some are higher because of the demand. Yep. So like West Perth, with a project in West Perth, that's 1.06 times the income because the demand's so high. Yep. So even if it's at 1 times, the return's still good. Yeah,
but you see the cost is almost same for the different kind of categories. How is it possible?
So, okay, really good question. So what we've done is we've designed a product that caters for high physical support. Yeah. So if we get that right, if a full accessible participant can move into HPS, an IL participant can move into a HPS specification, because if you look at the statistics, people with disabilities don't improve. I don't improve. I'm getting older. Yeah, so you've got to build it because this is their future home. This is their home. I hate to say it, for life. Yeah, their choice though. So we've got to build it to cater for that. Like we have structural steels in the roof space to cater for hoists. Now we won't put them in if they don't need it because they don't want to see it. Yeah, they don't want to be reminded every day that they're going to have a hoist one day, right? So, but we put those provisions in there so that, and it can be really easy to retrofit very quickly.
You said the returns are.
And I reckon the next 3 years. So yeah, so you're getting certainty of income from the government, and you get certainty in terms of CPI. Yep.
Strawberry.